Nearly half a year ago, I uploaded a video called A Little Heart to Heart. And it was how an individual crushed my community, and how that in turn crushed my spirit, and motivation, and passions. And in that video, I promised I would never say who that YouTuber was, and for 6 long months, I've stayed true to that promise. Though throughout the past 6 months, I've given him 3 chances, 3, to stop using other content creators. He's taken them, used them to the fullest he can, then he throws them to the side when they're no longer helpful for him to grow, or he can just easily pass blame right onto them. I gave him 3 chances to change, 3 chances to stop hurting people. He wasted all 3. The man who broke all those chances was Rob the Awesome. This video doesn't exist for me. It also doesn't exist for Rob. This video exists to warn you guys, the audience, and future content creators. I want content creators to know what could happen if Rob tries to collab with you, or any new content creator. I know from experience that no matter what, he's never going to stop manipulating and discarding any content creator, no matter the size, no matter the personality, no matter how long they've been doing it. And it all started back in August of 2015. And I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the highlight of growth for my channel. Whenever I posted a video, it was put right up to Reddit. So to some degree, there was a little bit of buzz surrounding my videos. And at that time, I was relatively new to collabs, and I was still getting a feel for them. So 2 things you gotta keep in mind. At the time, my channel was relatively popular, and I had little to no feel for collabs, like if that person was a good person, or if the commentary styles worked, etc, etc. And these recurring traits are ones that Rob really liked to latch onto. So, of course, Rob added me and buttered me right up. He told me all these lies, he said he loved my videos, loved my content, and said that we should collab. And at the time, I couldn't see that he was taking me for a fool. So after a bit of talking, I agreed, and I told him I was extremely busy, so we'd have to plan a day and time. And we planned and agreed on that time, and we both knew how important it was to not miss that time. However, he grew overnight from various other collabs in the week before. And at the time, we both started at about 300 subscribers, but overnight he shot up to over 2,000 and instantly seemed to not think I was worth his time. He didn't show, and when I brought it up to him, he ignored me. And that's when it finally clicked that he had tried to take me for a ride, to cash in when I was at my peak. And the next time he messaged me was a few days later, asking if I thought Red Robot was buying subs, and then he just completely ignored me mentioning that he had skipped out on the collab. Afterwards, I tried to let it go, but it discouraged me greatly, because dedicated members of my community just went off to join his, and it just kept putting salt in the wound of demotivation. And what made it worse was that Rob had originally told me that he treated YouTube as a business, and to me that meant that his fans and friends were nothing to him but just walking money bags. Months and months later, in April of 2016, I made a little heart to heart. After a while, I just couldn't take keeping it in, so I wanted to be able to vent, to kind of just get it out there, how I felt, why I wasn't uploading. And it was both received and viewed in ways I didn't even expect. I had originally made it for my community that had slowly just been falling apart and dying. However, despite keeping this YouTuber anonymous, Rob somehow ended up watching it after a friend told him about it. And there was one key line in my video that stuck out to him. Not that he ruined my community, not that he demotivated me, but that the anonymous YouTuber had complained about Red Robot. He messaged me saying that he wanted to make it right because he didn't want to hurt people ever again. He said that he had shattered a Ray 7 spirit and didn't want to do the same to me. Later on in our talk, he just completely contradicted himself and said that the reason why he wanted to talk to me was because people were starting to suspect him for me mentioning that the YouTuber complained about Red Robot. And with all that being said, that night it could have gone instantly public due to a mistake by a mutual friend. That friend knew what was going on behind the video, so they made a public tweet, unaware that the dispute was private, and I told him to take it down, and less than 20 seconds after, he did. I covered Rob by making him anonymous in the video, by getting that tweet removed, by not telling anyone. So what changed in these 6 months? Well, shortly after Rob had tried to make me take down the video, I learned that he had also used Skymin and Teemo. He split their friendship apart and nabbed free advertising from Skymin. Several months later, after Rally Call in August of 2016, I had a talk with Rob again. I wanted to try to forgive him for what he did, to try and see if he knew what he did was wrong. We talked, he said he changed, and I forgave him, expecting the best. Less than 2 weeks later, I saw a tweet from Miss Moth. She spoke about how an anonymous individual used and manipulated her and others. And at that moment, I knew exactly who it was and my heart dropped. I asked Miss Moth who and what that tweet was about. She told me that Rob had destroyed her friendship with UEAK Crash by using insider info to accumulate 100 people on his live stream. Miss Moth had talked to Crash about his map and he told her not to tell anyone, but Rob would not stop pestering her about what that info was over and over. So Moth told him a few nuggets of truth under the agreement he wouldn't share it. Then of course Rob turned it all into a big speculation livestream that weakened Moth's friendship with Crash. If Rob got 100 viewers, he'd share what Miss Moth had told him. And once Crash heard about what happened in Rob's livestream, Rob instantly blamed it all on Miss Moth. And at that moment I felt bad for Moth, I felt bad for Skymin, I felt bad for Teemo, and I started feeling guilty for letting Rob just continue the streak of abuse. And I didn't think it could get any worse, but the same day he threw Miss Moth under the bus for the speculation stream, he picked up my friend Mysterious Ranch. And that's when I was concerned, because at this point I noticed Rob had a relatively similar pattern for each person. He'd butter them up, then tried to collab with them to further his own channel's needs. So I was concerned that Rob was about to do it again, so I warned Ranch, and we talked for a bit, and the warning was well received. And that's when I decided to launch an intervention, the last chance I could possibly give Rob. The fact that a little heart-to-heart was anonymous was the first chance he had to redeem himself. And when I forgave him after Rally Call, that was the second chance he had. This intervention would be my third and last chance I could possibly give him. So I gathered together all the people he had affected or mentioned into a single server, and we spoke. I was there, Teemo was there, Skymin was there, Array7 was there, and of course, Rob was there. We maturely discussed why we felt Rob's actions were damaging to individuals, and we wanted to know how he felt about it. He showed great signs of remorse and regret, and he promised to the best of his ability that it would never happen again, and he appeared to realize the impact of his actions. This is the talk that I had with Rob right after the intervention. So it seems great, right? But this just shows his true thoughts about the intervention, and this is just a mere several hours after. But hey, each person copes a different way, right? Nope. Just watch these excerpts from Rob's stream less than 4 days after the intervention.
The point is, like, these little kids, I don't know, they're not really kids, but they're whining like little kids. Like, just let me do what I want. Like, I don't want to be mean to, like, other people who help out in the community, but, like, if you're just being, like, a bitch, like, I'll take action. And another thing, too, is that, what was the thing? Well, I had it. There was 2 reasons. The one was, yeah, the whole drama thing. I keep doing it. Stop, please. You know, stop ruining other YouTubers. Stop ruining other YouTubers' experiences. Stop, like, ruining that. What was the other thing, though? Shit. I forget what the second one was. I had it on my mind. I should have said that one first, because that was the most important.
Not only did he make it public, he called it childish and said all these terrible things about individuals involved in the intervention itself. We didn't have to do that intervention. I did it because I felt like it was the right thing to do, because it was the moral thing to do. Because deep down I hoped Rob wasn't aware that he was hurting so many people, and that he could still change. Yet here I was, watching this stream in disbelief. He knew exactly what he was doing the whole time. The whole time he lied, schmoozed, and self-pitied his way out of everything. That's why this video exists. I gave him 3 chances to stop. Each time he abused the chance and hurt someone else. No more. 5 people is just 5 too many. And I don't want to see him throw any more people aside like used tissues. Because it hurts my heart to piece back together what Rob destroyed. And I know this video can stop him. And if after watching this you don't believe me or you think I'm overreacting, fair enough. Opinions are opinions. But I plan on replying to every serious comment if you have any questions. I don't plan on making a follow-up if Rob has a rebuttal. Just know that if Rob uses you or hurts you, you can come talk to me. Just know you're not alone and I'll be there for you when Rob's busy trying to get his next scapegoat. And which leads me to the conclusion of this video. The video was to warn you all about Rob's true nature, and the mask comes off at some point, and it's sad that after all the chances I gave and all the hope I had for him, that I had to be the one to do it.